What's up, guys? So today I'm in the FRS and I have a couple of things to do to it. I haven't really uploaded a video in a couple weeks. The one computer that we used to edit videos went down. It just completely stopped working. So I have to take it to the Apple store tomorrow, but that's the reason for the lack of videos. But I figured I still need to get stuff done on the cars, so I'm still gonna film it, but I really don't know when this video is even coming out. So right now I'm just heading over to get the safety check because I have a rental tomorrow, so I have to get a safety check, and then I wanted to do some work on kind of the drivetrain, and I'll kind of explain what the drivetrain exactly really is, but later on when I get the car up and I can get the video underneath the car. Yeah, so after I get the safety check, I'm gonna go to AutoZone and get some gear oil, and I want to change out the fluids for the transmission and the diff, and I have some work to do on the shifter actually. Well, first of all, it kind of sucks, the shifter issue. I'll just show you real quick what the issue is. So this is neutral right here. This is in gear, so this is first gear and this is still in first gear. So I'm pretty sure it's just maybe there's something loose. This is second gear, but yeah, it shouldn't have that much play on it. And it's kind of junk because I took the transmission and stuff apart. Well, not apart, but I did the clutch. I changed the clutch about a year ago, and I took apart stuff on the shifter on the top, but then I later realized you don't even need to touch the shifter to take out the trans. So this issue is probably something that I caused, and which is kind of annoying because I didn't even have to touch it in the first place. But I mean, it's not too hard to take apart, so I can kind of figure that out. After I did the clutch change, I actually had I had kind of a little issue shifting from second to third, or first to second, I think, and I basically took apart the shifter again and just kind of adjusted stuff a little bit. I didn't really change that much to it. I didn't put anything new. I just kind of readjusted it, then tightened everything, and then it started working fine. And then now, like maybe a month ago, it just started to get like a little bit, the shifter started to get a little bit loose. So yeah, I'm gonna head to get the safety check, and then AutoZone and maybe Walmart for oil drain boxes. All right, change of plans. So even though I called Goodyear and asked them before I came if I can get a safety check, they said, yeah, come by. And then I went by and they said, oh, maybe tomorrow's better. So I guess I'll try to do that tomorrow. But I went over to AutoZone. I had to get a couple of jack stands because we don't have any. My roommate has the ramps, but we don't have any jack stands at that house. So I'm changing the gear oil because I have about 73,000 miles on the car, and it's never been changed before. So I'm gonna do the trans fluid and the diff. Might as well do it at the same time. And so when I do shift, it's a little bit clunky, so hopefully doing the fluid change will help with that as well. But I also notice when I drive, sometimes I hear a little kind of a high-pitched metal like clinking noise sometimes towards the rear. So that's why I want to check out the drivetrain, the whole entire like the drive shaft and everything too. So it kind of seems like maybe something is loose or something. If not, maybe something's damaged. So I got fluid. Normally it's kind of hard to fill the trans fluid from underneath the car, so since I'm taking the shifter apart, I can just pour it in from the top anyway. It'll just be really easy. Instead of having to like lay on the ground and try to fill it up, I just need to be under the car to drain it. So I don't want to go to Walmart today to get the oil drain boxes. For some reason AutoZone doesn't carry, so I have to go to like Walmart or yeah, probably Walmart to get it. But I have one box at home that I was gonna use to do the BMW oil, but since I'm probably just not gonna do that today. I'm just gonna try and use that box, and hopefully it's big enough to like hold all the trans fluid and the diff fluid. I think it is. I gotta double check the size though. All right, made it back to the house. I'm gonna start unloading my stuff. I've just picked up a couple of 4-ton jack stands. They didn't have any 2-ton. So I got these little bit bigger ones. And if you're wondering why I'm using these, even though we have the ramp, I'm just using the stands to get the car off the ground and even level, kind of at a level point and a little bit higher off the ground, so I can squeeze under there. And of course I got 4 liters of 75W90 Mobile One. This is the only brand they had, and Mobile One should work just fine. And a couple of rags. Let me just open my jack stands and get it off the ground and get it set up. So if you're curious about how I jacked the car up, pretty much put the jack right on the diff. That's a pretty solid point. And then jack stands go on these pinch welds. So near the tire here, the back tire, you'll see these little sections. That's where you want to put the stand on. These are like reinforced. And if you're doing one in the front, it's gonna be this one right here. This little pinch weld right here. So I utilize the jack stands just to be safe in case the jack gives out and I'm under there. That would suck. It doesn't look too bad, the angle. The back is up a little bit higher than the front, but it's okay. I think it should drain okay. So like I said before, it kind of sucks that I took apart the shifter when I did the clutch, because now I'm having this little bit of issue. There's this like play. This is neutral. Yeah, so you already saw that. So since there's this play, I think that was my fault. Okay, so after about 5 minutes of research, I kind of found out that this car actually does have a soft and sloppy trans mount and shifter mounts. So I found this Perrin and white line bushing combo kit from FT Speed Factory, and it's about 63 bucks, and it should probably just fix that problem right up pretty easily. So this next part of the video is pretty useless unless you really actually have to take this stuff apart, but in this case I really didn't need to, but I did anyway, so I'm just gonna leave it in the video. So I'm gonna go ahead and take apart all this stuff. Okay, now that we got the center console off, I just need to take off these 4 bolts right here. I think those are 12. I think these are 12, but just 4 of these, and then this boot should come off, and then the shifter should be exposed. Unfold your hand for some help, get nothing back in return. Think you found a person to trust, and then you get burned. It had to happen sooner or later, I guess it's my turn. You live and you die, but first you live and you learn, and I'm learning, but I guess. Okay, so I totally forgot for this car, at the shifter you can't pour fluids into the transmission. I was thinking of a S13 transmission, so I can't pour any fluids into this here on the shifter, and I can't really seem to tell what's actually the issue of why it's like this play right here. I don't know if that's normal, if I'm just tripping out, but I'm gonna try to get under the car and see if I could tell anything else. If anything else is loose, like this arm is like connecting to the shifter, so I'm gonna try to see what that looks like. Okay, so underneath here, under the trans, I just gotta take off this cover right here, this black one. Now that I got this whole cover off, this is the drain plug right here. And this is the fill plug right there. So that's a little difficult to fill like that. I might have to go get like a siphon thing to suck it out of the bottle and then pump it into there. But I'm gonna go ahead and drain the stuff right here. So this is the oil change box I got. It holds 5 quarts. And I didn't really realize this, but 1 quart is pretty close to 1 liter. So for 5 quarts, that's about 4.732 liters. And I believe the diff and trans fluid altogether is about 3.5 liters. This box would be more than enough to hold all the trans fluid and diff fluid. I was looking for the twist tie that usually comes with this, but I couldn't find it, so I'll probably just zip tie it after I fill it up with fluids. So this is the fill plug. I'm just releasing it or opening it to release the pressure. And then this is the drain plug right here.
2 hours later.
The little explosions in the cylinders make the pistons come down and up vertically, and then that gets transferred down to the crankshaft, which is rotational, and then that gets transferred through the flywheel, the clutch, transmission, the drive shaft, diff, the axles, then the wheels and tires, and then the road. So that's pretty much the whole, that's pretty much like the whole system of like how you get power from the engine to the wheels to the road. So when they say like 200 horsepower at the crank, they're talking about the crankshaft. And if they're saying to the wheels, then they're talking about after the transmission, the drive shaft, axles, the diff and the axles. You lose some power because all the components that's being moved from the transmission, the drive shaft, like that takes some power, so there's less power going to the ground. It even comes down to your tires and your wheels, like the weight of your wheels and all that. So now I'm just closing up the drain plug, and then we're gonna go drain the diff. So right here in the diff, this is gonna be the drain plug, and that's the fill plug right there. So it's similar to the transmission in that you drain out of here, and then you pretty much fill it up in there until it starts spilling out. So this is pretty much your level. From here down on the diff, this is all filled with fluid. Again, I'm gonna crack this and then drain this. Also, here's a little tip. When there's something like metal like this in between the ratchet and your hand, when you're trying to break torque like this, don't close your hand. Keep your hand open in case you hit this. I've like busted my knuckles so many times doing that, but yeah, I don't know if you saw, but I kind of just did this and then I went like that. Whoa, this is actually a lot of sludge on here. I don't know if it's too much burning out or what, but it's just kind of sludgy. That's actually more sludge on here than I'm happy about. I don't know if because it's been too long since the fluid's been changed. So I'll just go ahead and let that drain for a little bit. So if you're planning on using these directly and going to use this nozzle that it comes with to put it in the diff, this is how you prep it. So this comes off and you got to pull this off. This here, that comes completely off. Then this goes back on. Then you pull this cap off. I just bite it. And you gotta cut this. So I kind of just do like a little angle. Same thing on this one. And the diff is supposed to take 1.3 liters, so I know I'm gonna at least use a full thing of this and then a little bit of the other one. But like I said, we're just gonna keep filling it until it starts spilling out of the fill plug. You don't have to torque it, just make sure it's tight. Then we can start filling it up. You don't have to bleed this kind of thing or anything because the diff is, it's not a pressurized system. This fluid just needs to sit in there. A little bit left in that one, but it's kind of hard, so I'm gonna just use this new one. Just started spilling out right there. I'm gonna try to keep going a little bit more and see, make sure it keeps spilling. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, so the diff was pretty easy. I'm gonna try to do the trans now without going to the store to get the little pump thing. I think I can angle the bottles to be able to squeeze it in there. It just needs about 2.2 liters, I think. So it's not gonna be the full bottles. So okay, so my camera battery died, so I kind of had to take a break. So in the meantime, I put a little bit, one of the liters into the trans, and now I gotta put the rest in. So I'm gonna finish putting up the fluid, and then try to look at the shifter again and see if I can see why that thing is loose, and then take it for a test drive. I had like 4 batteries for this camera, and I lost like all of them except one, so I had to stop and charge the battery. But yeah, let's go hurry up and finish this thing now. So this is kind of how I have it. So the fill plug is here, that's where you fill it. And I've been kind of putting the bottle in here, kind of like this, sort of at an angle. I'm trying to get it in there. got one of the bottles and I kind of filled this one up super high. I can just use this one bottle, pump it in easily. I filled it up pretty good. So it seems like it's kind of starting to come out already. So I think we're pretty much topped off. So a little trick I do is I just put my pinky in and I try to see if once I get past this hole, if I'm touching fluid. And it seems like I am. So it looks like we're pretty topped off. I'm gonna close it up and then we can button up the bottom. Check out the shifter, close that up, take you for a test drive. So I bought about 4 liters of fluid. Trans is supposed to take about 2.2 liters and the diff is supposed to take about 1.3. I bought 4 liters, so there should only be about 0.5 liters left of fluid. And seems about right. This is all I got left for this one. I don't know if I slightly overfilled it because of the angle of the car, but I think we're okay. So I'm gonna close up the bottom. Okay, so I got all the bottom back together. I'm not too sure about the shifter right now, so I think I'm just going to, so this is in gear. I can't tell if it's like, if it's something in here. I don't know if I want to take this all apart though. Let me just try. Okay, so I was doing some research online and it kind of seemed like that the amount of play that I have is supposed to be about 1/2 inch, and that kind of seems like that's what I have here. About 1/2 inch of movement. I don't know, I think I'm gonna just put it back together. This is third, first. I think I'm just gonna put it back together and I'll just try see how it is. But I think this is kind of the normal amount of play. Okay, I think we got it all back together. Now I'm gonna set it down and go for a drive. Last finishing touch. One of my concerns about the car was the kind of clunky shifting. So far it seems pretty smooth, but I'm gonna try to take it around the block and see how all the gears feel. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know, I was doing some more research and I don't know why I was just kind of tripping out about this little bit of play, but I think that's normal, but I don't know, it seems kind of loose. We'll do a couple pulls and see. So the car seems pretty happy. The shifting is real smooth. When I made that U-turn, the diff felt really great. I don't know if I could really tell a difference, but seems pretty happy, seems normal. I think I'm pretty satisfied for now. I still didn't get a chance to look at the drive shaft. I totally forgot about that other issue I was having where it was kind of making a high-pitched clunking noise. I didn't get to like check around the drive shaft and all that, but I can do that later. The fluids were my main concern, just because it's been so long since I've had this car and I've never changed the fluids on it. I had it at 22,000 miles when I originally bought it, and it's at 73 now. So let me know if this video was helpful at all. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.